In 2023, I watched $50,000 sit in a savings account and I was proud of myself. What I didn't know yet was that this pride was about to cost me over $10,000 in a single year. Not because I made a bad decision, because I made the wrong decision while convincing myself I was being responsible. And the worst part, the bank will never tell you what you're actually losing. Nobody sends you a statement that says, this month your feeling of security cost you $875. The money that disappears makes no noise. It vanishes quietly every single month while you watch your balance go up, because that's exactly the trap. The balance goes up, but your wealth, it actually moves backward. Let me show you how that's even possible. When rates climbed in 2022 and 2023, something unusual happened. High yield savings accounts were advertising 4.5, sometimes 5% annual yields. For someone who had spent a decade watching rates hover near zero, that felt almost shocking. $50,000 in an account earning 5% generates $2,500 a year without doing anything, without any risk, without touching the market. The logic seemed airtight, except there's a number the bank never puts on the homepage. The IRS doesn't distinguish between a paycheck and interest income. To them, $2,500 in interest earned from your savings account is exactly the same as $2,500 earned on your W-2, taxed at the same rate, not at the lower capital gains rate, not at some special savings rate, full ordinary income tax. If you're in the 22% federal bracket, you lose 22 cents on every dollar of interest your account generates. Add state income taxes depending on where you live, and a typical middle-class earner ends up keeping roughly $1,875 out of that $2,500 headline number. That's not 5% anymore. That's already 3.75%. But the story doesn't stop there, because there's a second force working against you in the background, and it's even quieter than the IRS. Inflation ran between 3 and 4% throughout 2023. What that means in practical terms, even while your balance was growing, the world around you was getting more expensive at nearly the same pace. You earn 5% gross. Inflation eats 3%. The government takes its cut. What actually remains in real purchasing power is somewhere between 1.5 and 1.8% annual gain. Not 5, not 3, 1.5. That's still better than nothing. It's infinitely better than a traditional savings account paying 0.01%, but it's nowhere close to what you thought you were building. And the whole time this was happening, something else was going on. In 2023, the S&P 500 returned over 26%. $50,000 invested in a broad, low-cost index fund at the start of that year grew to roughly $63,000 by the end of it. Not $52,500, $63,000, a $10,500 difference in 12 months between two decisions that both felt responsible at the time. Nobody sends you that bill. It shows up on no statement. Financial analysts call it opportunity cost, and it's probably the single most expensive invisible expense in an ordinary person's financial life, precisely because it's completely silent. And stretched over 30 years, the gap becomes almost impossible to sit with. $20,000 sitting in a high-yield savings account for 30 years at 4% grows to roughly $64,800. The same $20,000 invested in an index fund at the historical 10% annual return grows to approximately $348,000. Same money, same timeline, a $284,000 difference built entirely on the distance between feeling safe and actually putting your money to work. But here's what this experience actually taught me, and this might be the most important part. The savings account wasn't the wrong tool. It was in the wrong role. A high-yield savings account has one specific job: protect money you might need within the next 12 to 24 months. Your emergency fund, the down payment on something you're buying soon, money that cannot afford to drop 30% during a market correction the week you need to use it. For that job, it's the most effective tool available. Liquid within 1 to 3 business days. FDIC insured up to $250,000. Real real return with zero downside risk. The problem isn't the account. The problem is the quiet scope creep that happens when that tool inherits a job it was never designed to do. Most people who carry large balances in savings accounts aren't doing it because they genuinely need that cash accessible tomorrow. They're doing it because the number on the screen feels reassuring, and because investing in the market feels like handing your money to a slot machine. That gap isn't financial, it's emotional, and it costs more than almost any other financial decision made over a lifetime. Your emergency fund, the real 3 to 6 months of actual living expenses, belongs in a high-yield savings account, no question. But beyond that threshold, money you won't realistically need for 5, 10, or 20 years has a time horizon that belongs somewhere else entirely. The question isn't, is my money safe? The question is my money working as hard as my future is going to need it to? Those aren't the same question, and the confusion between them is exactly what creates the gap between two households with nearly identical incomes ending up in radically different financial positions after 20 years, according to research from both Pew and the Urban Institute. What I should have done from the start: calculate the actual after-tax, after inflation return before deciding how large a balance to maintain. Not the number on the homepage, the real number. For a typical middle-income earner, that's 3 to 3.5%, not 5. Set a hard ceiling on my emergency fund and deploy everything above that threshold into assets with long-term compounding potential, and never confuse the feeling of financial security with the reality of financial progress. Those two things look identical. They almost never are. A large balance in a savings account produces comfort. Comfort has value, but it isn't worth $284,000.